She adjusts the sleeve of her sweater and sits down without looking at him. The glass of water is already there. Clear. Half full. Placed exactly between them. He does not move it. She rests her hands on her knees, then shifts them, then folds them together. The chair makes a small sound against the floor. It settles. She settles. The glass of water remains untouched. He is close enough that their shoulders nearly meet. Close enough that she can feel warmth through the fabric of his shirt. She keeps a careful inch of space between them. The inch feels measured, intentional. She smooths the fabric of her skirt. Once, then again. The motion repeats, slower the second time. Her breathing is steady. She keeps it steady. The room does not change. The glass of water catches a thin line of light. It trembles slightly when he shifts his weight. The surface stills again. It always stills again. She glances at it instead of at him. Her foot taps once against the floor. Stops. She presses her heel down to keep it quiet. The silence presses back. He clears his throat softly. Not to speak. Just a sound. Something small to fill the space. She nods, though nothing was said. The glass of water stays between them. She notices the way her hands feel unfamiliar resting so close to his, as if they belonged to someone else, as if she borrowed them for this moment and has not learned how to use them yet. Her shoulder finally brushes his, lightly, by accident. Or maybe not. She does not pull away immediately. The contact is warm, solid, known. Still, she feels slightly outside of it. The glass of water remains half full. She watches the surface again, waiting for it to move. It does not. For a second, she feels as though she arrived in the wrong place. At the right time. She keeps her eyes on the glass of water as if it might offer instruction. The line of light across its surface has shifted slightly. Not brighter, just angled differently. Time is moving, even if nothing else is. He rests his hands on his thighs. His fingers spread, then close. A small adjustment. She notices it the way someone notices distant weather. Present, but not touching her. The space between their shoulders remains narrow. Careful, almost touching. She inhales slowly. The air feels shared, used. It carries the faint scent of him, something familiar she cannot quite name. It should feel comforting. Instead, it feels like standing inside someone else's memory. The glass of water stays still. She reaches toward it, then stops halfway. Her hand hovers above her lap. She withdraws it quietly, folding it back into the other. The motion is small enough that he may not see it. Or maybe he does. He shifts again. The chair makes the same soft sound as before. A repetition. The room accepts it and goes silent once more. Her knee tilts slightly toward him. Not enough to touch. Just enough to suggest it could. She studies the rim of the glass. The thin circle. The way it holds shape. Nothing spills. Nothing changes its level. Half full. Exactly as it was. He leans back a fraction. The movement causes the surface to tremble again. A faint ripple. It disappears within seconds. She watches that ripple longer than necessary. Her shoulder finally presses against his. This time deliberately. The contact is firmer. Real. He does not move away. But something in her does. She feels present in body only. As if her thoughts are standing a step behind her, observing the scene from a distance. The glass of water remains between them. Unmoved. Unclaimed. She keeps sitting there, holding the moment in place, unsure whether it belongs to her. She lets her shoulder remain against his a second longer than before. The warmth is steady. Predictable. It does not surprise her. That might be the problem. The glass of water sits untouched. The light has moved again. Thinner now, almost slipping away from the rim. He exhales slowly. The sound is soft but present. She matches it without meaning to. Their breathing falls into the same rhythm. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. As if rehearsed long ago. She stares at the space just above the surface of the water. Not at him. Not at the room. Only that thin line where air meets stillness. Her hand drifts closer to the glass this time. Not to drink. Just to feel near it. Her fingers hover beside it. Close enough to sense the coolness through the air. She does not touch it. He shifts his weight toward her slightly. The contact between their arms becomes fuller. Solid. She feels it clearly. And yet, something inside her remains just out of reach. Her mind tries to remember when sitting beside him used to feel different. There was a time when proximity meant ease. When leaning in required no calculation. The memory does not arrive fully. It lingers at the edge, blurred. The glass does not move. She withdraws her hand and places it back on her knee. The motion is careful, deliberate, as if she is returning something borrowed. He glances in her direction. She senses it without looking. She keeps her eyes forward. The distance between their faces feels larger than the inch between their shoulders. The room holds them both in quiet suspension. She presses her heel into the floor again, grounding herself. The pressure travels upward through her leg. Physical. Real. Measurable. But the moment itself feels unsteady. The water remains exactly half full. She wonders, without forming the thought completely, how two people can sit this close and still feel slightly misplaced. She lowers her hands to her lap and finally lets her fingers rest without adjusting them. The glass of water stands exactly where it has been from the beginning. The light has faded now. Its surface reflects almost nothing. He leans forward slightly, elbows on his knees. The shift creates a small current in the air between them. The water trembles once more. A soft ripple. Then stillness. She watches it settle. Her shoulder no longer presses into his. Not because she pulled away. Not because he did. The space simply returned. An inch again. Measured. Familiar. He looks ahead. She does the same. There is no argument in the room. No raised voices. No visible fracture. Only the quiet presence of two bodies sharing a bench, breathing the same air. The glass remains half full. She studies the shape of it one last time. Clear sides. Defined edges. Contained. It holds what it holds. It does not reach outward. It does not close the distance. He shifts his foot. The sound is small, almost careful, as if he, too, senses something delicate resting between them. She becomes aware of her own posture. Straight spine, hands folded, feet grounded, everything arranged as it should be. Everything correct. And yet she feels slightly off-center inside it. He leans back again. The bench accepts his weight. The water barely moves now. Even the tremble is faint. She turns her head, just enough to look at him directly. Not long. Just a glance. His profile is familiar. Known. Close. Still. She senses herself standing somewhere just outside the frame of the moment. The glass of water remains between them. Half full. Unshared. She stays seated beside him and feels like someone who arrived a few seconds too late. Not every memory is clear, but some never leave. They remain quietly, waiting for an ordinary moment to return. If this story brought something back, it has done enough.